All right, we're live. This is good. It's been a while since I did this on my own channel, but we're going to do a live commentary. It's Jay and Cole. We've done these, on and off on Jay's channel and my channel. It's been quite a while since our last one on this channel, but we were thinking about some martial arts action. So we're going to one of the most famous and praised of those, sort of often called a masterpiece. I think I put it in the subscription. I think I put it in the description. It's a masterpiece of action. It's Jackie Chan's Police Story, the first one, which would go on to be a very successful franchise, but the first one's always sort of remembered as the best, probably. This was like 1985. Jackie was already a megastar in China and East Asia, and he was just coming off a failed attempt to break into Hollywood in the Western scene. He'd done I think what the movie was. It was a failure, whatever the hell it was. Let me see. I think I find it. The Protector. Yeah. So he worked with director James Glickenhaus on a film called The Protector, which has a really ridiculous sort of 80s style poster, if you can find it. That's why I guess was supposed to like compete with like Stallone and stuff like that, because it's like Jackie on the front. He's got like a Gatling gun. It looks crazy. Anyway, and that movie was a flop, and at this point, Jackie was just sort of like, I think the whole idea was like, I'd rather do something where I'm in control, like fully, and he had that sort of weight when it came to the Hong Kong world, of course. So this is a movie, he directs and stars in. He even sings the theme song for, so he's in control of all aspects of it. And he's starring with his famed Jackie Chan stunt team. Pretty much anybody that was like important in this movie was like well known to Jackie Chan and was probably even a close friend. Almost all these people were people he'd worked with for quite a few years. So sort of a dream project, I guess, from that standpoint. And in this, he kind of like, there's different ways you can split up his career. And one is obviously his Hong Kong movies and then his American movies. But then you can split it up a little better than that too, because you can split it up between like his sort of pure kung fu movies, which is what he started out doing. And then he almost invented this sort of hybrid between like, shoot, why am I getting an echo? Do I have something open? Hold on a second. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so then he sort of almost, not invented exactly, but at least refined this hybrid between martial arts and action, and Police Story is sort of the starting point for that. And then you can sort of like look at his movies from that. You see some of his early movies, like stuff like, any of the early movies, and then some of the bigger ones like Dragon Lord and stuff. But then after doing this, man, I'm getting an echo for some reason. You getting that? Sort of the starting point for that, and then you can sort of like look at some of his early movies, like stuff like. Is there a delay? Are you hearing me? And then some of the bigger ones like Dragon Lord and stuff, and then after doing this, man, I'm getting an echo for some reason. You getting that?
I hear it on your end.
Yeah, and I can hear it too. I don't know what's causing that.
I don't know which one to respond to that I'm hearing of you.
Yeah, hold on. What do I have? It's not like I have YouTube.
Is that better?
Open. It seems to have stopped. I don't know. I just shut up for a second because I was like, as I was talking, I was just hearing what I said about 30 seconds ago coming back at me, which is pretty annoying. But it seems to be okay now. I don't know what it was. I
was sharing the link on Twitter, but I don't think the audio was coming through anywhere.
Yeah. Anyway, it seems to have stopped, so sorry about that, folks.
Maybe my fault.
I'm not sure, just some technical blip, but I was just saying, yeah. So you've got like, you got the Kung Fu type movies, and the best one of that is probably his last one, really, which was 1994's Legend of Drunken Master, the sequel to the 1979 movie. And then he really concentrated on these sort of action Kung Fu hybrids. And he did a lot of really good ones, but this is considered probably the first and still the best Police Story. Working with the famed Jackie Chan stunt team and all sorts of people that he was, good friends with. And this was not the debut for actress Maggie Cheung, but it was, I think, maybe her second movie. And she would continue to work with Chan for other movies. She's in Twin Dragons. She's in Project A2. and probably a couple others, including, and of course, she's in the sequel to this, Police Story 2, which is the only one that continues a story and uses the same characters. After that, the different police stories are just like kind of standalone movies with they don't have a continuity that's shared, and then they were marketed, and they didn't even usually use the Police Story title outside China or whatever, because for years, I didn't know. Like, the third one is called Super Cop, but that's technically Police Story 3, but I didn't know that for quite a few years when I was young when I watched it, and she's in that too, so as a different character. So yeah, Maggie Cheung. So she was only 21 when this movie came out. And she actually quit acting kind of early on when you think about it. She's in her 50s now, and she quit like 10 years ago. So I'm sure she had her own reasons for doing that, maybe to spend time with her family or whatever. But anyway, she was a goat.
So Super Cop was after this, right?
Yeah, it's technically the third Police Story movie. See, once you do Super Cop, they just sort of stop using the Police Story title, at least internationally. Yeah. And First Strike is technically Police Story 4. And as you see, he's a different character. Sometimes
I love First Strike.
Yeah, me too. That was really the one that was the movie that got me into Jackie Chan for sure. It's probably still my favorite. Mm-hmm. It's not the best movie. There are things about, say, like the ones I named, like this or Legend of Drug and Master, and I understand why they're better and stuff. But because of my own experience and stuff like that, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. I love that movie, and it had a profound effect on my life. I was already a crazy daredevil, and seeing that movie made me do all sorts of parkour stuff. This is the 90s. I didn't know parkour didn't really have a name or anything. I was just doing it because I was trying to imitate Jackie Chan. But yeah,
I guess we can get started here, and then I can talk a little bit about my relationship with Jackie Chan.
Sure. So so I own the movie from the Shout Factory release, which has both together. It's not bad. I was really glad to get it. It's got like a pet peeve of mine where both movies are on the same disc, which I don't like, but at the same time, there's not a lot on here. So, and as Jay is watching it on the Criterion channel, which of course shows that now this has a release. In fact, just short of a year ago, I think it was April 19th, the Criterion Collection did their own release of these movies, and it is a little better than this. It's got some extra stuff on there, including a slightly different version of Police Story 2 or something, a different edit or something like that. I was just looking at it a little while before we went on. But so I'd love to say that that's a priority for me, but the truth is, a priority is just getting other of his movies. These are the only Jackie Chan films I own. I'd like to own more, but years ago I probably could have owned sort of some of those bare bones American versions of DVDs of some of those movies. And I'm not saying they're not worth owning, but I think I was like holding out for like a better version, because I don't even think those offered subtitles. It was just the dubs. And just like you, my introduction to Jackie Chan was
dubs.
Yeah, I saw these movies in theaters with his dubs. So I still have, even though dubs are annoying, I still kind of at least have a somewhat soft spot for those, because one, all these were somewhat later in his career when he at least dubbed himself. Because I remember, just out of curiosity, I played the dub versions of these when I got it, and it's not him. It's not him dubbing himself. It's just some other actor. But if you watch anything like, I think Super Cop, Rumble in the Bronx, First Strike, what is it? Who Am I? Mr. Nice Guy. Those all have an English dub where Jackie dubs himself, and even a couple of older movies he went back and redid because they got delayed theater releases, because Operation Condor came out in 1991, but I saw it in theaters sometime in the late 90s when it got a re-release, and he came back and dubbed himself for that. And Armor of God also got one, and that's always been confusing because they've been shown backwards. Armor of God came out in 87, and Operation Condor is technically Armor of God too, but they flipped the titles around and released them in backwards order. Not that it matters a lot, because these aren't movies that have a really strict continuity or anything, but yeah. But that's how it goes. It goes Armor of God, then Operation Condor. But yeah, I saw both of those in theaters, and those were older movies, but I was seeing them in probably the late 90s. I'd say it was probably 97, 98, because I know First Strike I saw in 96, which was the same year that he made Mr. Nice Guy in 98, something like that. But anyway, yeah. So that's how we're watching it. So if anybody's around now, giving you a little time to catch up, and or because this is YouTube, you don't have to watch this live. The good news is someday when you have the opportunity to watch this movie, you can say, hey, there's a live, they did a commentary, so I'll put it on. So maybe you want to do that at some point in the future. In any case, but for the people watching right now, yeah, I'm just saying we're getting it ready to the start screen, and we'll do a little countdown and such. So you feel ready to begin?
Yeah, we have this like an image of a planet with a star coming behind it or something.
Yeah. That's like the very first logo that comes up for both of us. So we've got it paused on that. And then we'll go, and hopefully the movie will run fairly smoothly. Because as far as I know, there's no difference between this and the Criterion cut or anything like that. So, well, yeah, they don't do different cuts. It's just that they said something like Police Story 2 had like a different edit that got released in Hong Kong or something. I don't know. And that's available on the Criterion edition of these two movies. Interesting. I'll look into it. But yeah, so that's where we are. So I don't know. I don't want to be up too late. It's kind of late where I am. So I guess I don't want to hurry things, but I guess we will get things going without any further ado. So we'll do a bit of a countdown here, okay? So people will do in 3, 2, 1, play. And
Cool.
if my volume's too loud.
Yeah, so it's really odd, the way that we were exposed to these films, because they were all out of order, all misnumbered, and the orders, like you said, and James Rolfe, the video game nerd, he did a really good video on explaining the titles and the timelines of all these films. But I think I may have seen some of the kung fu films like in the maybe 80s on daytime television, because I watched a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
He made quite a few of those films. But other than that, it was Rumble in the Bronx was the first film of his I saw in the theaters, and then I watched I think every one of his theatrical releases in the theaters.
I think I caught all of them after that.
Was,
I didn't get to see Rumble in the Bronx in theaters. And the first movie I saw of his was the year, it was 94. That was the year Rumble in the Bronx came out. I had a birthday party of that year, so it was like I was 11, and I rented one of the movies I rented was Camp Nowhere, and the other movie we rented was Super Cop. So that was the first time I saw it, which is part of the Police Story series, technically the third. So directed by Jackie Chan. So yeah, super.
So just really odd the way all out of order. It's even the theatrical release films are jumping a decade, and when they were actually released in China.
Yeah. And plus, we're watching it with stupid dubs.
But yeah, exactly.
I turned mine down, but it still seems kind of loud. I'll try to turn it down a bit more. So yeah, we got a police sting operation.
I heard a little bit, but it's not.
I'll bring it down a bit. Yeah, so they're trying to take down. The story's fairly simple. In fact, the script was written around the sets. They came up with the sets first, like where they wanted to have action pieces, and then wrote a script that would follow that along. Because really, this is an action piece. That's what this is, an action showcase. So here we go at the shantytown. We've got a sting operation by the cops, including our main character by Jackie, sometimes known as Kevin. Take them down, and so a lot of stuff has been imitated and homaged over the years, and probably the two most famous are right near the beginning of this movie, which is the shantytown with all the trucks and cars crashing down the hill through it, which shows up in Bad Boys 2.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a scene a little later on during the chase where Jackie, using his service revolver, makes a bus stop to catch some criminals, which is right at the opening of Tango and Cash, performed by Sylvester Stallone. So those are the two most blatant. On another note, Tango and Cash was also a movie I had rented for a birthday party sometime in the early 90s.
That's a good one. I know it's really stupid, but I like it.
Yeah, it was my dad's recommendation. He knew it.
Oh.
Yeah. It's stupid, but it's fun. It's cool seeing those two team up, right? Kurt Russell and
Terry Hatcher, I think's in that.
I can't even remember. Probably it's been a long time.
Plays Stallone's sister, or one of them has a sister. I think it's Terry Hatcher.
I forget most of it. All I know is what they get framed and thrown in jail by like, the same guy they're hunting down. Yeah. And like it was like one of the first times Stallone got, even though he was still a badass, Stallone was trying to. I think I changed his image a bit in that he played a very sort of suave, well-spoken guy, right?
He wore glasses. That was his character trait.
That was his character trait. But, after being rocked, hey yo, all those years, he's like, I want to show that I'm articulate and intelligent. I'll wear pinstripe soup and glasses. I'll be the contrast.
Yeah. Kurt Russell was the meathead, right?
Yeah, that's how it was. So we got
he was a sophisticated, smart guy.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. That was their idea in the '80s of putting two guys that would contrast each other. Two just completely very similar action stars. All right, so it's a pretty big stinger operation here. They have a bunch of undercover people. They got people dressed as workers and driving trucks, so they're trying to fence them in here. Oh, briefcases with money. Yeah, so this is Maggie Cheung. She's only 21 here, but because she's got the short hair and even the sunglasses, it makes her look older than she was. Later, when she takes that off, she does look younger later in the movie. But here, and it makes sense because she grows
her hair out.
No, not during the movie because the movie goes too fast. In fact, the second movie picks up right after, but just the way she dresses and stuff, like in kind of a rare thing, actually, she's probably she's probably an actress playing a character who's older. Because usually it's the other way, right? You usually see actresses, who are like 25, 26 playing teenagers or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then she's 21, and I think it's probably understood she's a bit older for the movie because of her job. She's like some sort of like accountant or something, right? Which would be pretty young for 21. Yeah. The usual deal. They've got I love the big 80s phone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The usual deal. Briefcases full of money, drugs, cigars. Oh, they know. And now the operation is going to be blown.
Oh, shit.
There's a really bad line about rape in this movie that does not, you would say doesn't age well, but like wouldn't have really flown too well in 85 either, really. And it's actually like, there's like a line about rape in this movie that's basically played for laughs. We'll get to it when we get to it. Oh, yeah. And that.
Yeah, you could get away with a lot back then.
Yeah. But still, it's like an odd choice. Like even like with all like I said, even if you take the time into consideration, like you wonder if something got lost in translation. But I don't see how because they're talking about rape. Like, but anyway, we'll get to it when we get to it. So okay, the bad guys know, and here we go. All hell breaks loose.
Uh-oh. Propane tanks.
Yeah. So since of course Jackie Chan is a martial arts star, he always has a way of like, if he's playing a cop, like very quickly losing his gun. Because it's just like, now I have to rely on my fists. Because that's what we want to see Jackie Chan do. This isn't John Woo Jackie Chan. Well, there's quite a bit of shooting in this Jackie Chan movie. But he does do some cool stuff with guns. There's a really good bit in, I think, Operation Condor, where he's on the steps and he like disarms these guys and he's like sort of half flipping around to get the gun away from them. They kind of do like a watered down version of it in like the first Rush Hour of how quick he can like take people's guns away and like drop the clip out. And he's like trying to teach Chris Tucker's character. But yeah, I think it's Operation Condor. Yeah, he does this really cool thing of disarming some guys, fighting them on steps.
What was it? Was it Mr. Nice Guy where he uses the ladder?
No, the ladder is.
I love that fight sequence.
I know, and that's one of the main reasons why I love First Strike. First Strike has the ladder fight, which is one of my favorite things.
Okay.
It's so good.
It almost reminds me of the Jason Statham film, The Transporter.
Yeah, I
maybe either the first one or the second one has a great fight sequence where they're like on oil and it's really all kinds of stuff. But I think he incorporates a ladder in there as well.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's the first or second one either, but I've seen the first two Transporters. The first one has a really beautiful Chinese actress in it. of course, Jason Statham gets to make out with.
Yeah.
Boo.
I mean, they're both really good films too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of when he surprised me. Like as an action star, I was like, okay, this guy's legit. You know.
Yeah, I mean, he can do some of the stuff. It's not all just stunt people doing his stuff, you know.
Right. Some great choreography in there. Fight choreography.
Yeah, I'll have to look up who did the fight choreography on that. They made like
Probably
a weird
somebody well
they made
known.
like a weird reboot of that, like even before it was old, with like a new actor in the role. Did you know that? There's like a Transporter movie called like Refueled or something like that, with like a different guy in the role. It's like the fastest reboot ever. Like the movie was like what 6 or 7 years old, and they were like new one. I didn't see it, but yeah, that exists.
Did he only do 2, or did he do more than that? He may have done more.
I don't know. He's done a lot of movies. Like around the same time, he did like The Mechanic, and he did.
Oh yeah.
He did that movie where he had to keep moving or he'd die. He did 2 of those.
Oh right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I love those 80s suits.
Crank too.
Yeah, Crank. That's right. That guy wet himself because he shot a guy.
Yeah.
It's very emotional. But the main boss is getting away. One thing that's like doesn't get enough credit in these Jackie Chan action pieces is the stunts the great stunt driving. There's some really good stunt driving in these. I particularly like the stunt driving at the beginning of Who Am I? At one point, there's a part where they're being chased, and they do that cool thing where you have like a road, and there's like a car here and a car here with one, open in space between them, and Jackie's character like zooms up the road and like goes into a crazy turn, and he like perfectly lands like right in between the 2 parked cars, and then the people chasing him go by. Obviously, that's not Jackie doing that stunt because it's a stunt driver, but the rest of the time, oh, here we go, boom! You got them smashing through.
And this is what Bad Boys.
Bad Boys 2 has a scene exactly like this. I think it's like, I don't know where it's supposed to be set. Maybe it's like somewhere in South America or something. But it's got like big Hummers crashing down. Yeah, it's like Hummers like crashing their way exactly like this, a shanty town like on like a hill.
It kind of reminds me of like Rio de Janeiro or somewhere.
Yeah.
With the way those houses look on the sides of hills.
Yeah. But, China, with its insane population, has quite a few places like this to this day. Chase his own. And, like, all the cars you see Jackie drive are, like, Mitsubishis, because he was, like, a spokesman for them or something. He always had, like, a deal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We used to have a lot of those around here, and you don't see them anymore for some reason.
I haven't, like, they were big in the 90s, but I don't know. Yeah. Like you said, you barely ever see them nowadays, even though, as far as I know, they're still pretty popular cars in other countries. They were popular here for a while, too.
Yeah, it was Mitsubishis and Mazdas were really popular. We still have the 3, Nissan, Honda, Toyota. Those are huge, and Kia, of course, out of Korea.
My parents, the car I drive, because my parents own, is a Mazda now. But it was the first Mazda. It was also the first Mazda we ever had. For years back when we actually had 2 cars, my dad always had like a Buick of some kind.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which don't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Feels weird. Okay, here we go. Buff stuff. And you're time to improvise. Umbrella. But here's where we start to really get into like the creativity of Jackie Chan's stunts, right? Because I mean, there's all sorts of ways to play a car chase and things like this, but only Jackie Chan does this crazy thing where he takes an umbrella to get himself onto a double-decker bus. Like, that's really what made him stand out. Was not just that he did the crazy stunt, but just even thinking it up. Like, so creative.
Man, the athleticism of this guy.
I know, incredible. And just the sheer nerve, too.
Sure.
I mean, there's lots of good stunt performers, but Jackie Chan is easily the number one. And it's probably nobody will ever be able to top him because, like, nowadays things, there's more regulations and stuff. So even if people wanted to top Jackie, nobody would let them do it. They'd be like, "You can't do that. There's no way we're insured for that or whatever,
We're not going to let you like possibly kill yourself. You're too important.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've heard like
worth too much money.
The irony is, like, of all Jackie's like insane stunts over the years, the one that nearly killed him was like really fairly pedestrian. It was in it was in Armor of God, and what was it like? He like swung off a tree branch, or the branch broke. He just basically fell out of a tree. That's what it was. He fell out of a tree, but it like gave him a fairly severe head injury, and it was really serious. And out of all the crazy things he's done, that's actually the most serious injury he's had.
Yeah, I remember hearing him talking about it. I didn't remember which film it was on, but yeah, it looked like nothing. But
yeah, it looked like nothing.
I mean,
it's like we've seen him
he like
fall
breaks
like
a
that
bone in like every movie he makes, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Breaks bones, gets cuts, burns. I mean, he did it all. Oh,
I mean, has he written a book? I mean,
I would.
A guy like him should,
I would
definitely.
Assume. I'll have to look into it, but there's already probably some biographies on him not written by him too. I mean, he's such a global megastar. Yeah. Like, he's older now, and maybe people of a certain generation or whatever living over here like don't remember him as well or something like that. But and just like as well as his movies did over here, like I've said this before about some of these Hong Kong guys, particularly the one that always blew me away was Chow Yun-fat. Like, Chow Yun-fat, who was giving away all his money, when he started, was worth over $800 million. Like, the average A-list celebrity you name doesn't even have $100 million. Like, I don't even think Brad Pitt has $100 million. But Jackie's right up there too. Jackie's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Brad Pitt might, because he's got his hands in a lot of pockets. He has his own production.
He might by now. He might by now. I don't know.
And that's where the money is.
Right. I mean, when you're an actor,
Jim Carrey kind of set the precedent.
Yeah, 20 million.
20 million, yeah. And that was 30 years ago.
The contrast here is he doesn't actually even shoot them. He just bluffs them. In Tango and Cash, he actually like shoots the driver or something like that. And this, he points them down, and then he bluffs them and just fires in the air, and they're just like so freaked out that they just slam on the brakes. Even though this movie is all about the action and stuff, it is kind of interesting that they go to the trouble of even showing some of the trial of this guy, just to like show like how broken the justice system is. They catch this guy and they can't hold him. All this, and here he is trying to bribe him right here, which they bring up in court. It's really funny how like he gets the lawyer to twist what happens here, which is what lawyers do, right? Because he tries to play that he was just an honest citizen who was already on the bus when this crazed guy with a gun came on and started yelling at him. Here we go. But that's Chor Yin as Chu Tao, who's the main bad guy in this. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I mixed it up. I got Maggie Chung mixed up with the other female actress. That's why it didn't make sense. Yeah, sorry, because there are two female actresses. Why am I saying female actors? Two female actors, two actresses, whatever, female characters, etc. But I meant, yeah. So Maggie Chung is we haven't seen her yet. She's the girlfriend. The secretary that we were talking about with the shorter hair, that's Bridget Lin. So I was gonna say, yeah, she wouldn't have been. Okay. Yeah. So, but she would have been roughly, yeah, she would have been a bit older. She would have been around 30. Yeah, so that makes sense. So what I said before, you can throw that out the window about 21-year-old actress looking older or playing an older part. I'm wrong. That's me misremembering. Yeah. It's funny because she's more important in the movie really than Maggie Cheung, and yet Maggie Cheung is the sort of the go-to actress for Jackie. In fact, she's pretty annoying in this movie. I have to, if you want to have a criticism of Jackie's like big action movies, is that like there's not really great written parts for women. They're usually annoying damsels in distress. But you know, some movies are like that. Like I don't think that really, you don't have to take it too seriously.
Yeah.
You know, Jackie Chan super stuck. Like I don't know. You know, the movie is what it is. And actually, Super Cop, the third one, really kind of breaks that down, right? When you get Michelle Yeoh's character, who is awesome to the point where Jackie was so concerned that his character might upstage. Like he came up with that whole part of him like hanging from the helicopter. Like that wasn't even in the original script. He added that because he felt like his character was being upstaged by Michelle Yeoh's.
I remember you telling me that. That's funny.
I mean, she does one of the coolest stunts in the film, like herself, and she's, you know, not a stunt performer like Jackie. Like that is her that drives the motorcycle onto a moving train. She does that, which is amazing. She didn't even know how to ride a motorcycle. She had to learn that first. Yeah. So here they're all happy, playing to the press. This is such a big bust, and it's all their bubble's gonna get burst. So they're smiling for the cameras. And this is where I think they first used the term super cop, which they bring up a few times. But yeah, probably the worst movie for the dumbasses in distress is probably the one Operation Condor, where he winds up having to protect 3 women, and they're all like, you know, super helpless and annoying. The comedic bits in this are pretty hit and miss. And now he's their poster boy, so I guess they're using him for all their like videos and advertisements and stuff.
You see how that guy just missed the board completely with a dart?
Yeah.
When I was in college, to a guy's house, like I'm like 2 times, they're like, all right, no more. Like that doesn't happen like pretty often. Like, you know, I don't know. They're like, whoa, hold on, you're gonna fuck the wall up here, buddy.
I've been hit with a dart. Like here.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I've had people throw darts at me. In their drunken, playful manner. They weren't trying to kill me. It hurts.
I'm sure. I've seen videos of guys like, you know, standing in front of the board and they, you know, were trying to do a trick shot or something and miss, and it just goes directly into the guy's head. And he doesn't even know what's going on. He's like, what? Where'd it go?
My brain has been punctured.
Yeah, it's like stuck in his skull.
So now they bring the secretary in to try to get her to testify, of course. And she does not want to do that. So yeah, that's the other. So this is Bridget Lin, Taiwanese actress. Yeah, and here's where the other lawyer's trying to get her to stay on their side. Miss Fong. All right, yeah. So now his assignment is to protect her before she can testify. What's this guy's name? He's usually in all the police stories, again, regardless of continuity, he has the same sort of role where he's like sending him out on an assignment and stuff.
Right.
Because he's in he's also in Rumble in the Bronx. He's like his uncle or something in Rumble in the Bronx. Can't remember his name. I see the list here, but I don't remember who's who. He's not the superintendent. Oh, it's Bill Tongue, who has passed away in 2006. But yeah, he's usually some sort of like, well, he even has the nickname Uncle. He always has some sort of like a paternal, friendly uncle relationship with Jackie Chan's characters, and he literally is his uncle in not First Strike, although he is in First Strike, Rumble in the Bronx. He is his uncle. Because what is it like? He moves to New York because his uncle's already living there, right? Like his uncle lives in New York and invites him to come or something like that. Work at his store, or something like that. But yeah, so that's Bill Tongue. Was also of the police commissioner in Project A2. Oh, that's interesting. He's in Lookout Officer, a 1990 comedy that's not directed by, but it stars Stephen Chow. That's a film that I've had on my like watch list forever that I haven't gotten around to yet. He's in that too. I want to do a Stephen Chow movie sometime too. I like him.
Sure.
Really love Kung Fu Hustle. I actually own a really nice copy of Kung Fu Hustle. And the bad guy in Kung Fu Hustle is the same bad guy from, I think he was the bad guy in Kickboxer. It's either Kickboxer or Bloodsport.
Oh.
I get them mixed up. Might have been Bloodsport, because he's a bit burlier, I think. Well, anyway.
Kickboxer was, Bolo Young.
Yeah, that might have been him.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Kickboxer was Bolo Young. And I can't remember Bloodsport.
Yeah. Right. So now they're threatening her. Yeah. At least she's like.
So when he did The Enforcer.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, at least her character.
He was trying to. Got a little bit of a lag. Sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just asking. So when he did The Enforcer, he was really trying to like capitalize on like the action.
Yeah.
That was so popular, like in the '80s, the action film.
Right. That was really the attempt to break into the American market, and it did not go well. As I said, the poster for it's pretty funny. I like the tagline too. Now New York has a new weapon. But the movie did not do well at all. Danny Aiello's in that movie.
Oh. I don't think I've seen that one.
I haven't seen it either. I'm just aware of its yeah. It wasn't a fully American movie. It was like sort of a joint Hong Kong / American movie. It was distributed in Hong Kong by Golden Harvest and Warner Brothers in the US. I've never seen it, but it's supposed to be not very good. But around that same time, there was another big sort of flop. Remember how we talked about this before? I can't remember. It's by, who was it? It's by a pretty well-known director who had some hits, and then like, was it Walter Hill? Maybe it was Walter Hill or somebody. Remember they did that movie in the mid '80s about like, I think it was Chinese gangs in New York or something, and it was like, completely bombed. I'm gonna have to look into that. Let's see if I'm right. If it was
Not
Walter
Black
Hill.
Rain.
No, not Black Rain.
Is it Black Rain?
No, that's the Japanese one. But let me just take a look at. It might be Walter Hill's. No, it's not Walter Hill. It's one of those other guys, though. He had some pretty good movies. Damn. I'm like, can't think of its title either. Damn it. It'll come to me. But I've always wanted.
Was it in the 80s, you say?
Yeah, it was in the mid 80s, and it was a big flop. It was an American movie, but it was about like Chinese American characters. Yeah. Anyway, at least her character, like, yeah, I mean, you don't expect her to be tough or anything like that. She's just a secretary and stuff. But I mean, she's okay. The really annoying one is his girlfriend. His girlfriend's just super annoying because she gets super jealous that he's looking at. Oh, remember this bit? She won't take him seriously, so he gets somebody to like pretend to be a masked killer coming after her. This is so that she'll acquiesce. Wow, crime pays. That's a nice bathroom. This would go over better if he wasn't lurking around. Of course, it's not going to go over well at all. I'll find it. I have it on my watch list on Letterboxd, so I'll bring that up. But yeah, here comes the masked psycho killer. There we go. Oh, okay. It was actually Michael Cimino. Remember Michael Cimino, who of course had done Heaven's Gate and stuff. It was A Year of the Dragon by Michael Cimino. So actually, he'd already had sort of flops, and this was like yet another one. So, but yeah, it's about like Chinese street gangs in New York City, and it flopped pretty damn hard.
Man, he's a pretty good actor with that knife, huh?
She finds up being way too feisty for him to do this convincingly. But now she's actually like, stop, so we have to like do something to not stab her.
Is it a fake knife?
Yeah.
Because, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, man, he would have actually stabbed her if she didn't move at some point. Looks pretty damn real.
You can go anytime. Yeah, but now she's not useless. She is actually going to try to help. It's like, we didn't think this through at all. Now we have to really convincingly fake fight in such a way so that she can't call the cops. He just tells him out loud, cut the phone. Fake knife, but sharp enough to cut the line, I guess. And boom, out it goes.
It crossed his eyes. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
He's fighting me.
Yeah, he's still coming at me. So then she hits him with another one. So now the guy's like concussed.
Yeah.
But they get what they deserve because this is so poorly planned and thought out. Really, this should make him lose all credibility. It just happens that the bad guys really do come after her after this. Otherwise, there's no way she'd ever listen to him. That would freaking kill him. She's just ready to crush his skull. Wait, if it was really cut, I don't think you could just fix it like that. So I don't know how he MacGyver's the phone back together.
He just like pulled the cord out, I think. Just,
Yeah.
Somehow.
Or no, he's just pretending to be on the phone anyway. I don't even know what's working, but he's just pretending right now. He's saying, "Yep, screw her. I'll leave her alone," and it, is having the effect he wants. You're supposed to protect me. Yeah, and his girlfriend's so whiny. She lives in a pretty swanky place. It's good to be a secretary for a crime boss.
I don't know. I think he's got some natural comedy ability.
Oh yeah, and I mean he knows it. I mean that's really one of the things that set him apart from a lot of these guys. Is that he was willing to do that kind of stuff and look silly, and also just not look invincible. I think that's one of the reasons why it's good. Like he gets in a lot of fights, he winds up winning, but he gets beaten up a lot and all sorts of stuff.
Right.
Whereas when you had guys like a Bruce Lee or a Chuck Norris or whatever, they just went, or Steven Seagal, they just went through everybody like a buzzsaw. It was like they couldn't even be shown to be in danger or jeopardy. One of the great things about a lot of the fights famous scenes you remember about Jackie, he's always at some crazy disadvantage. I mean, there's the easy one, he's outnumbered, but then there's usually stuff like he's got handcuffs on or he's tied up to something, and he always has to overcome that. Like he always starts well below and has to fight his way just to get even, which is always really satisfying and cool to watch.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he was a huge fan of the silent era movies. Like Buster Keaton was his idol, right? Like he wanted to be like him. And Buster Keaton, he did a lot of dangerous stunts back in the day. We don't think of those movies that way, but it's true. Like Buster Keaton did all sorts of crazy physical stunts. So yeah.
You can see, you can get the humor without even having the subtitles on.
Right.
It's all dramatic, acted out. Like the silent movies.
Yeah. I mean, and that is really what set him apart. Because there were a lot of martial artists that sort of took themselves too seriously in a way. And he said, early in his career, in the 70s, he's like, Bruce Lee died, and people are like, who's going to fill the void of Bruce Lee? And he's like, I can't try to be Bruce Lee. I have to be myself. Crazy legs. That's a good defense.
I mean, he was pretty big over here. He had those movies coming out, like his original Hong Kong movies coming out, and then he was doing the new films with Owen Wilson and Chris Tucker, and actually doing American films.
Rush Hour was a massive hit, which really set him up for success over here.
I did not like any of those. I don't like a lot of his American movies, honestly.
I don't either, but I'm okay with the Rush Hours. I mean, if you're the type of person that's annoyed by Chris Tucker, then I get it. There's no way you can be annoyed by Chris Tucker and still think the movies are okay because he's a huge part of it.
That's a large part of it, yeah.
As I said, it was significant.
But it's
too, we
just
talked
so
about
like,
before, that you had an American movie where you had two, non-white leads, which was pretty impressive.
but the whole thing is just like, like Asian joke after Asian joke, and racial slurs and stuff. It's
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. At the same
It's like
time, I
because it's
think
a
they were
black
trying
guy
to.
doing it, it's acceptable.
Yeah, I know. But at the same time, I think the movie did try to maybe bust some stereotypes in a way. I'm not gonna call them great
Yeah.
social, like political commentary, because they're not. But they're okay. And I mean, by then, like, Jackie's slowing down a little bit in the stuff he can do, although he's still pretty awesome. He still does some really impressive stuff in those movies. But yeah, no, I don't like the Owen Wilson ones at all. I think they're crap.
Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Surprise or something.
Yeah, yeah. The second one's in England, which makes it even worse. Like, the first one is at least passable. The second one's god awful. And then he's in just so many bad American movies in the 2000s, like The Tuxedo, and trying to do kid stuff like The Spy Next Door, or, you know, The Medallion. The Medallion's really bad.
I think I saw The Medallion. Yeah, I didn't care for it.
It's bad.
I don't remember much about it, but
yeah, those mid 2000s ones, American ones, they're like, every once in a while they have a scene where he does something cool, but for the most part it's just, a bad movie with like bad acting. I mean, in The Spy Next Door or whatever, like, he's starring that like opposite George Lopez or somebody. Like, no offense, but talk about lowering yourself. Global megastar Jackie Chan and George Lopez.
George Lopez was pretty big for a while.
He was a flash.
He was
a flash. He's like the definition of a flash in the pan, though, isn't he?
No. He had a sitcom that ran for like 10 seasons.
Really?
He made a ton of fucking money on, man.
I thought it was only a few seasons.
Yeah.
Well, he made no impact on me.
It ran for a long time.
To me, he was some guy that was around for 5 seconds and then disappeared. But I guess I'm wrong. I guess he had more staying power than that. But anyway, I've never liked anything he's done. Never found him funny. I don't begrudge him success. I'm fine with it. It doesn't matter to me if it was a successful show. Good for him. I'm just saying, I'm not saying like Jackie Chan needs to always be in movies with amazing stars or anything like that. But I'm just thinking it's just such a drop off. There's Maggie Cheung with the cake.
Oh, she's the one holding the cake. Okay.
Yeah, and you know where this is going to go. I'll give Maggie Cheung credit. She does a really great pouty face, which she does like through like 90% of this movie.
Fuck your cake.
Yeah. He gets all of it too. Look at that. Yeah, her character is May. Oh, yeah, and there's another fake conversation coming up where he pretends to be on the phone with her, where he wants to show her that he like is in control of his girlfriend, and of course it blows up in his face. He's like, she'll call and she'll apologize. But first he's gonna go after her, and she's on her little scooter thing. Yeah, for some reason it's really important to him to show, what's her name, the secretary, that like that he wears the pants in his relationship and he doesn't let his girlfriend boss him around, which is not true.
He doesn't wear the pants in either relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. He usually plays these characters that are protecting the women, but he also gets kicked around by them quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
She actually listened to the other cop. Trying to help you out here, buddy. He's like, "Don't you even like her?" He's like, "Yeah, she's okay." Why does he put on like another jumpsuit thing?
But yeah, that was the fastest shower I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. In my second year at university was the second. For my first 2 years, we lived in residence, and the second year I lived in a place called the Roost. I think I told you before, and there was a group of characters there, and like the guy who was the least sociable, he was a nice enough guy. He was a guy from Newfoundland. His last name was Barnable, which is an awesome name, Barnable. But he like the Roost was like a fairly small place. Only like 12 guys lived up there, so we were kind of tight knit. But he was not interested in it. He wasn't a jerk or anything, but he had his own thing going. But he took the fastest showers ever. Like he was just in and out like as fast as that, probably. Like he never hung out with like the rest of us or did anything with us. Like he was friendly and polite, but he never hung out and like.
Yeah.
I remember Sam and I used to talk. Like he always had this coat. We used to say that fog came out of the coat. Weird things. Newfoundland's foggy, and he was aloof. But man, like he was like the world title record for showers. I mean, I get it. Like it was a different sort of situation. It's a communal bathroom. Maybe you're not going to take a long shower. It's not as comfortable. But even I wasn't going to be that bad.
Right.
There's like the third cake in the face.
Yeah, I know.
How many cakes did they get him for his birthday?
More cake humor.
Yeah.
More cakes.
Yeah. Now he nearly kills her on the scooter.
Like someone really thinks the cakes in the face are funny. Pies in the face.
As I said, kind of hit and miss. I know they're trying to go for like classic slapstick, but sometimes it gets a bit over because like I said, Buster Keaton,
a little too classic.
I'm sure the Three Stooges comes in, but I think they go a bit overboard. But if you watch a lot of Chinese movies, you're used to that. I guess even better, watch her like zip around in a weird circle here. There we go.
Oh shit.
So even she does a little physical comedy here.
Oh.
You almost expect like her to just get creamed by a truck or a bus or something.
Oh man.
Oh. She recognizes. That's pretty good. I probably wouldn't recognize the face. I'm not good with faces.
I wouldn't either.
So now both of them are pissed at him.
Do you have another cake? Is he gonna put another cake?
It's like how in sometimes action movies you got like either like a badass spy or something, and they've got like weapons hidden all through their apartment. Like with Jackie Chan's character, it's just like cakes. She just like pulls a cake out from behind a pillow. It's my emergency cake.
It's my ass cactus. What are you doing?
I don't even get what she's doing here. Now she tries to like seduce him and act all. See, I'm not sure what she's trying to do here. Like now she's like knows he tricked her, and now she's pretending. Pretending to be the silly damsel in distress, and he's like, well, "This is confusing." She's just trying to test his relationship. Let's go to bed. Yeah, let's do it. In my bed. I guess he's supposed to like any guy. It's like, oh yeah, I just saw my girlfriend 2 seconds ago, but this chick's talking about going to bed, so let's do that, yeah.
It's very much like Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
He's like
Oh, women are strange. So true. Maybe that whole. I can't remember if it's this one or it might be the second one. The thing I said about the rape joke, because there's a part. Yeah, I think it's the second one. Now I think about it, because there's a part where there aren't like any other cops on duty for some reason, and he's like, yeah, I think it's the second one. He's in the police station by himself. Nobody else is there, so he has to take all these calls at once. I guess that's the second one, because I can't remember that happening in this movie. I can't. Well, but we'll see. So now we go to the court. People think the court seems particularly Western. Remember, this is Hong Kong, so this is founded on British law. So that's why they get the robes and wigs and everything, because it's all based on British.
Right.
Canada has this stuff too.
The wigs too?
No, that's kind of gone, but the robes and stuff.
Yeah.
The guy yells, "I object" in English a lot, I think, in this. Oh, we're going to see some fancy parking here. Yeah, there's another
space available.
Another fancy park job. He did that with like a power slide. But I really like the one in Who Am I, where it's like they spit. It's like a complete. It's not a complete. It's like a 180. Here's where the case just falls apart completely. There's the evil lawyer, twists everything. And of course, she's not here for her statement. Now he's chipping away at the case. It's nice of his girlfriend to show up for this. Almost seems odd that she shows up for this in a way. I mean, even if she wasn't mad at him, was she really? I don't know. Maybe she's just curious about the case. And there's the whole thing. Whoa. Then how do you know it was them? You couldn't see the bus. Blah, blah, blah. He's trying to make some sort of argument about like it being too dark.
Right. It wasn't dark at all, though.
No. This lawyer's just spinning
at any time.
No. But he's like, it was just before dawn, when it's really dark, even though it was not. They say I object in English. Because I guess it's more fun. Something sound better in English. Just like the Hong Kong police force say, yes, sir. Because it sounds good in English. Now, is this whole theory about there being another bus?
You're lying.
Yeah, that was a good try.
Clear objection.
That was a good try. So far, this guy's talking about like darkness before dawn, and now he's talking about the frequency of the buses on the route. He's like,
in no way that's true.
yeah, he's talking about
one every minute.
A bus every minute. I don't care. This wasn't even in the city, man. There's no way they have that kind of bus schedule. It wouldn't make any sense. I'll be walking both ways to Walmart tomorrow because I won't get on the damn bus, that's for sure. What's really weird is I don't get it. I mean, I guess it's good, but like the buses are free now during this. But it's a really bad idea to take the bus. So
you would think.
Good that it's free, I guess, but I'm sure as hell not doing it. So like certain places like Bayers Lake that I can't walk to, I'm just not going to during this whole situation. I love how he's got a model of the bus too. Hey, I'm proud of my bus jumping abilities.
Yeah. You want to see me jump on a bus? I'll do it right now.
Yeah. Let's go outside. Yeah, see, now he's just saying, see, my client was just some innocent man on a bus when a crazy man with a gun came in, so he offered him money because he thought he was stealing him. Now he even says, I told him I was a cop. Yeah. I mean, the judge is not happy about the line of questioning, but it's still happening.
This is like the Jesse Jackson of fraternities. He's really putting on a show.
That's the type the crime bosses always hire.
Was it you that told me like Jesse Jackson like drowned in his pool because his wife couldn't swim?
Wait. Hold on a second. There's definitely something about that that's not right.
Like he was having like a heart attack in the pool, but she couldn't swim, so she was trying to like throw things at him to help him like grab onto. But
okay, first of all,
he was a relatively young guy.
I don't think you mean Jesse Jackson if you're talking about OJ's lawyer. I think you probably mean Johnny Cochran.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yes, my God.
I mean, he was also a civil rights civil activist, so he did. He did.
Yeah, that is what I mean.
He did know Jesse Jackson, so I had that. But yeah, but Johnny Cochran, he was OJ's lawyer with all that, if the glove fits, you must have quit nonsense. But yeah, Johnny Cochran.
Well, now what I said a few minutes ago makes a little more sense.
Yeah. He's represented Puff Daddy, Michael Jackson, Tupac Shakur, Jim Brown, Snoop Dogg. Basically, if you were a black celebrity, Johnny Cochran was the man.
If you were a guilty celebrity.
And yeah, usually guilty. I mean, if you are guilty, you still have to have a lawyer.
Yeah, I think it was him. Wasn't it him that drowned because of that?
He is dead.
I was thinking it was you that told me that, but maybe not.
No. But he died of illness, Johnny Cochran, in 2006. Yeah, I'm not sure what that drowning story is. Who that must be about somebody, but I'm not sure who it is. Oh yeah, and here's the really specifically odd dialogue that sounds like he's just to make his girlfriend even madder. Now that makes
I
sense.
spilled some orange juice.
Why the girlfriend is in the courtroom. It's just so she could hear that exchange. That's really the only reason. Well, that couldn't have gone worse. Oh, look at that fancy car. So retro looking. I wonder what model that is. Looks like one of the cars from like Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah. I think what I was getting confused as the lawyer on Seinfeld is named Jackie Childs, who's kind of basically doing a Johnny Cochran impression on the show. So
yeah, I remember him.
that may be where I got Jackie from.
Makes sense. Yeah, I remember his character. And Mr. Chu is free to go. I don't think it would be quite that fast in real life, but we see this in movies all the time. Where suddenly the court system is super fast. The court system's not fast, it's slow and bogged down.
Right.
He was all happy about having this police, or this TV appearance, but now it's kind of ruined. I mean, he got away with it, and yet he's still really mad at the cop for even arresting him. I guess that makes sense. That's place the type for bad guys.
Sure.
I mean, the bad guy has essentially won at this point. I mean, yes, he's probably his operation is going to have to like move around and do some shuffling and stuff, and they'll have to change some stuff. But I mean, he's completely avoided any sort of criminal charges. But he's just mad that the cop's getting a bunch of publicity anyway. Oh yeah, I forgot. Like, even when I was a kid, we didn't have TV remotes like that. You ever have TV remote that's like square, like?
I don't remember them being that thick.
Yeah. I mean, this is a modern remote, and it doesn't really look even that different from ones 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What is it he decides here? Yeah, so he's still mad about his opera. Yeah, he can't get his... Right, so like... Yeah, so I guess he hasn't completely won. Like you said, his assets have been frozen, and he can't use his passport and stuff like that. So he's, And how come she isn't in any trouble? She was supposed to testify, and she just didn't go. And they all just blame Jackie Chan. Like, it was your job to bring her. Yes, it was, but she still was like subpoenaed or whatever. It was still her like legal obligation to show up. Whether or not he got her there, she was still supposed to get herself there. But she's just like, I won't go. I won't testify against my criminal boss, and I'll just live. And now she's just like, I don't. Now that I've been arrested and stuff, I don't want to be your secretary anymore. I think she can just walk away from all this without any repercussions from either the cops or the bad guys. Hi, Mr. Lawyer. Of course he's asking about her. She was supposed to testify. So yeah, now they decide, yeah, we'll have to get rid of her. Yeah, and they're going to try to like frame him or something. He's involved with beauty pageants? I love that. It's just the kind of scummy thing. He's just like, there's lots of girls, there's all those beauty pageants. I love the idea that this criminal has like his finger in like a bunch of beauty pageants. It always goes with like scummy guys. It'd be like Trump kicking in the remember the dressing room door, saying, "Hey, I'm just checking things out here." Ooh, I like the slang. Disappeared. I wonder if that is a direct translation. Speaking of the crow, it reminds me of something the T-Bird said too. After the crow kills the first member of his gang, when he reports to Top Dollar, and he says, one of my amigos got himself perished." I always thought that was interesting. Oh, look, he's got the Converse. Very nice.
The Chucks.
Yep. I haven't worn the classic black in a long time. My last bunch of pairs have been red. Maybe I should go back to black. Actually, I might have to wear those soon because, yeah, like my normal sneakers are completely compromised. They've got holes in them so that if it's wet, I can't wear them. I might have to rely on those for a while.
Mm-hmm.
At least tomorrow's supposed to be dry. It's windy and rainy here now, but warming up. Yeah, it must be the second movie. So in the second movie, there's a bit where, like, for some reason, none of the cops are at the station, and he's there all by himself, and he's answering all the phones, and he takes these calls. And there's a part where, like, a woman calls him to report being raped, right? And he goes, "Oh, when did this happen?" She says, "A year ago." And he goes, "A year ago? Why report it now?" Which I think is supposed to be played for humor, but just like, well, that's how it works sometimes with rape cases, Jackie. It's a very serious, sensitive matter.
Statute of limitations is 365 days.
Nope, this is it. We're gonna see it. It is
cool.
Yeah, why the hell is he all by himself? Yeah, see, he's pretending that there's a whole bunch of people there, and it's just him. Why is he the only person at the station? So there's his girlfriend calling, but he's gonna get like several other calls. Yeah, you're really fooling your girlfriend there with your non-changing your voice. No. Why is no one else here? Again, I think it's just because it's a bit Jackie wanted to do, like a physical thing where he's answering a bunch of phones. So like, okay, we'll put it into thing. Yeah, so here first you have my husband beat me up, and that's pretty bad. But it gets worse because we got a rape coming up. See, there's a joke. Somebody lost their cow. That's funny. I can understand that. But here we go, rape.
Yeah.
Oh, see? I'm talking to the wrong person. Like, it would work if it was, like, not serious crimes. You can make the joke, oh, I got the wrong person. Oh, I mixed it up. That's the person that lost their cow. But he's mixed this stolen cow in with spousal abuse and rape. Yeah. Why report it now? And then they make it, oh, yeah, there's a joke. I want to know if there's any afterward pills. So that's like a joke, right? So there's their really clumsy attempt at rape humor. I love the movie, but that's kind of, yeah. Can you bring in a photo of your cow?
I like how every once in a while you go back to the phone and I lost my cow.
Yeah, it's just mixed in with these more serious
Yeah.
crimes. It would have been funny if it was just, more lighthearted crimes, but they. So I get what they're trying to do, but the bit doesn't really work when you mix in like more serious crimes and with like the silly stuff.
He's about to use his pencils to eat his ramen.
Yeah. Man, I'm getting sick of that stuff. I've eaten quite a lot of it over the last while. And pasta in general. I'm just so sick of pasta.
I'm very sick of pasta.
That's why I need to get some more food tomorrow. I look at my freezer, I'm just like, oh, I could have this pasta or that pasta. I look at my cupboard. I could make this pasta with this sauce.
I would at least use the other end of the pencils.
Yeah.
I think I would go with the eraser end.
That was a big addiction for me when I was like a kid in school. I used to chew on the eraser part.
Really?
Not the metal part, really. Actually, at one point when I was in grade 3, I had a pencil that like I crushed so much that like the eraser was completely gone. It was just metal and it was completely flat. And I remember like I just started chewing on it in general. And like I think it might even I don't even think had been at school that day because it was near Christmas and I was watching The Sound of Music on TV and I just swallowed it.
Oh shit!
Nothing ever happened. I didn't tell anybody. Didn't go to the hospital. That was fine, I guess.
Was it really sharp?
Part of it was. It had at least one sharp corner, but I was just too afraid, and I guess I passed it okay. But I was really freaked out, and I remember like sitting there just watching The Sound of Music by myself, debating whether or not I should tell somebody that I had just swallowed metal.
You'd be surprised how resilient.
Yeah. I mean, it's about this big, and I had to crush it completely flattened.
Yeah.
Now now the car is rolling down the hill because you can't go like 5 seconds without more slapstick in this movie.
Yeah, what's the purpose of this? Just get in there and put the brakes on. Oh, the handbrake is broken?
Yeah, something like that.
We're about to see that car again.
Yeah, it's going to crash through. Like I said, because Jackie's character can't go like 5 minutes without like some ridiculous slapstick happening to him. Ooh, more pouty face. Oh, this actually is on purpose. Oh no, it's not. That's just his car.
Man, it's really going now.
Oh, that's what killed that kid, the Russian kid. Well, a Russian American or whatever. He went down to his gate and his SUV slammed
Oh, yeah.
Anton Yelchin.
Anton Yelchin, yeah. That's so sad.
I know, so young.
He's a great actor, too.
He's a really good actor.
It's such a freak thing. Like, it was something with that vehicle. I think they wound up, like, suing the company or something.
Oh, yeah.
Something to do with... Like, it wasn't supposed to do that, but it did.
See, I love this stuff. I loved climbing stuff and vaulting over fences like Jackie. I did a bunch of this.
He makes it look so easy. Like, just climbing anything. Like, effortlessly.
I certainly wasn't as acrobatic as Jackie, but I've always been a naturally good climber. I've climbed everything. And I also have never had any sort of fear of heights.
Really?
Heights just excite me. Like, I realize the danger, but I don't care. It was a bit cliched. She's, I don't know why they tied me up. It's kind of like a cliche, isn't it? It's like she's like almost like referencing it. That's some good knots, though.
Yeah.
Knew what they were doing. I mean, that is a good way to tie somebody to the chair with their shoulders back. Because then you just can't get anything going here. So that's one thing these bad guys learned, how to do it properly.
Man.
Oh, and there's our first pane of glass broken, whereas the whole final act of this movie is nothing but glass breaking. Back in the day, they used something called sugar glass for it. Now they use something different, but it's what they use for. But yeah. So if you're like a fetishist that enjoys glass breaking, this movie's like your porn.
Is that a thing?
I think so.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, at least it's better than like the fetish of like seeing stuff crushed, which is a real thing. And some of the really sick people, it's like they like seeing like like a little bird or something get stomped.
Right.
Like
that's a big thing, man. I know. They just passed a bunch of laws, strengthening the punishment.
Good.
That stuff.
I mean, if you're some weirdo that likes seeing like a grapefruit or something get stomped on, fine. I don't care. But yeah, animals.
Well, apparently it would be like women in like big stiletto heels, like stepping on kittens and stuff.
Oh, it's awful.
It's just, man. I don't know. There's a special place in hell or wherever for people like that.
Absolutely. Oh, right. Yeah. He was their cop. And they're portraying him anyway, and they're going to frame him for it. That's right. Because he thought he was betraying them, and they betrayed it. Or Jackie, but they betrayed him.
Oh. We've got like 6 more movies to make, so we know Jackie's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Although, again, Police Story 2 is the only one where he's playing the same character. Although sometimes the character has like the same name. Like, there's nothing really to link him to this. Because, like, by the time you get to the 4th one, which is, what's it called? First Strike. Like, he's not even a normal cop in that. He's like some sort of like government agent.
Isn't his name normally just Jackie in the movies?
In the English dubs.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. In the English dub, they just call him Jackie. But in this, technically, his English name is Kevin, or his nickname.
Oh, I don't like that.
It's Kokoi is his name.
Yeah.
Sometimes they call him Kevin. And his last name really is Chan for the movies, for the hell of it. But they weren't using Jackie for the original Hong Kong versions of the. Right, so they don't kill him here because they think it's better. They can frame him for killing the other cops, so that's why they don't kill him there.
What do you call that? The stuff they put on the rag?
Oh, chloroform.
Chloroform, yeah.
Yeah, as we talked about, like, it's not really as easy to do in the movie. You have to know like how much the person weighs, and you have to know how much you need for that. You have to measure it out very carefully. Because it could either just like not work at all, give them a bit of headache, give them a fucking brain damage. To get to like, you need a really exact amount to get somebody to just pass out and not have like after effects.
Right.
And to pass out right away too. That's the other thing. Like,
was that Spirulos that we talked about that? The Vanishing.
Yeah, it was The Vanishing. You're right. Yeah, it was. And because in The Vanishing, they treat it realistically. Because they show how he has to figure that out. Because in most movies, you can't just put someone on a rag, put it in somebody's face, and expect to take them out. Maybe. But again, it all depends on their weight and stuff. Like, if they're a really big person, no. And if they're a really small person, you might give them brain damage.
Yeah. What is chloroform even like used for? I mean, like the legitimate reason.
It has some sort of medical. I'm trying to think. It used to be used for, like, I think before we had modern refrigerators, you could use it to what is it? What I'm gonna take a look here because I can't really figure it out for myself how it says. Used in a heat pump and refrigeration cycle. Yeah, not like refrigeration cycle. And most cycles undergoes phase transition from liquid to gas. Okay, so uses. Okay, so mostly it's used as a solvent. So stuff for like bonding different things together. Yeah, it was used in a lot of stuff, fats, oils, rubber, and stuff. So mostly as a solvent. But the way it's used to take people out is the version that was like it was an early anesthetic. So that's why. Back in like the 19th century, it was used as an anesthetic.
So you're gonna get your leg sawed off. They give you a little bit.
Yeah. So there's different kinds of chloroform, but that's the strain of chloroform that's used for taking people out. So yeah, I had to check that because I was not entirely sure. At least he does a smart thing here. He comes right into the station just to tell them, "Look, I was framed." And yet they all say, "Well, it doesn't matter. We still have to arrest you."
Would that be an acceptable answer? Yeah, I was drunk with some girl.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Let's say no more. We know what that's like.
Yeah. Well, I guess it would be better than, them thinking he murdered somebody.
Right.
Yeah. See, they believe him, but they're like, without proof, no one else will believe you. But this is the big moment, again, sort of a cliche, because there's the superintendent. He's very proper. He's got his glasses on. He's very by the book, and yet he's going to go against the book to help.
Looks like he's about 12 years old.
I know, and he's the superintendent.
Gakui.
Yeah. I was looking. This is most irregular.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why he doesn't need to explain. Yeah, sometimes he talks like he's not a cop. It's like, why would you arrest me? It's like, well. And of course, now you are holding the superintendent hostage at gunpoint. So there is that. Yeah, now he goes on the whole thing. Thinking of his girlfriends. Sitting behind that. Yeah, I guess really 80s cops cliched here. We're out risking our lives, and he's sitting behind that desk. It's mostly just a bunch of bases and boxes that Jackie wanted to check for this movie.
Yeah.
And now I've got a scene where the whole system is out of order. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, you seem very clear and headed and coherent. This is very stupid. Send in sharpshooters? Geez, I thought you were the one that didn't want him to get hurt. Then again, he is acting pretty crazy. I guess he thinks he has no choice. Wow, that was a fast response. Oh, Jay had to step away for a moment, I guess. Yeah, I'm at an hour and 24 minutes just happened. That's where I'm at in the movie. If anybody needed a timestamp, just past an hour 24. Jackie is taking the police chief or superintendent into a car to get away. Weird yellow car. Looks like a freaking gremlin. And Superintendent has an interesting change of heart here. He's like, okay, I'll give you a head start. Ooh, another cool car. Some sort of roadster. Forklifted! Oh, I love it. I really knew where to start. Oh, there, you can still see the British flags there, because this is Hong Kong in the 80s. For those who don't remember or need to, that British rule continued in Hong Kong until 1997. Ah, yes. So we've got our climax here, which is in a mall with lots of glass to be broken, and there's what's her name? Who I guess in hiding here, or yeah. So that's Selena, the secretary, and I guess to hide, she's always very stylish. So now I guess maybe she thinks if she dresses in weird overalls and doesn't look stylish, people won't recognize her. I mean, I guess why? I guess that's why, because she always wore very stylish clothes before that, and now she looks like, I don't know, like a grade school kid. Yeah. And all this mall stuff happened like in one day or shooting, and they were shooting in night while the mall was closed, of course. Yeah, they all had to do it in one night. And they had to get everything cleaned up because the mall was supposed to open that day, like the next day. They weren't even like shutting down for a day. So yeah, they did all the stunts, broke all the glass, and managed to clean everything up and get everything out in time for the mall to open like normal in the morning for the shoppers to come in. You think the studio could have gotten the mall to close for a whole day or something. But they got it done. Right, so what Selena's doing here at the mall is she's trying to do a thing to stop the guy from getting his money electronically. Because she knows all the passcodes and stuff. It's a pretty risky thing to do. She knows they've already gonna kill her, so I don't know. So she's a gutsy character. And of course May's here too for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, he's going after this dangerous criminal organization, and he's got the entire police force looking for him, and he takes his girlfriend right into the middle of it. Here we go. So I don't think we lost Jay. I think he just had to step away for something. Maybe something happened that he had to attend to, because, yeah, it's just his camera's off. I'm still getting some audio, too, so it's not like he cut out or anything. He must have just had to do something. So hopefully he'll be with us here, because we're getting to, like, the best stuff in the movie, which is this crazy mall chase and fight. And I mean, I don't care how good of a stuntman you are, falling down an escalator, man, that's gotta hurt. I once tried to run up, I was showing off and was running up a down escalator, and I slipped, and I cut my shin, and man, it cut me deep. It's nasty. Of course, you got the other guy over here we're going to see that's going to fall down in the middle part of the escalator. Oh, not there. Smashed through a table. This guy's got more people for getting thrown through tables than, like, WWE. Yeah, so now she's got all the evidence she needs. Oh, there you are. Had to keep it running, so we're in the mall.
Sorry about that.
No problem. I did some blabbing if I could. Yeah. I was talking about how, like, even if you're the best stuntman in the world, falling down an escalator hurts like hell, man. Escalators are no joke. I've hurt myself on them before.
Really? They look quite painful.
Yeah. I gashed my shin on one.
Oh, wow.
It was my own fault. I was showing off. I was trying to run up the down. Slipped.
So those teeth are pretty sharp on the...
Oh, yeah, they got me. They got me good. Right here. Oh, yeah, time for the glass. We've already had some guys fall through some tables. Yeah, this is just reminding us that just like Die Hard, you could say this is a Christmas movie. This is during the Christmas holidays. Which wasn't as big a deal in Hong Kong, but you can see they do have some Christmas displays up, and they did say in the courtroom that it was December. When the lawyer was bringing his brilliant darkness defense.
And the multiple buses.
Yeah. In, like, the most crazy jumbled bus schedule in history. There's a bus every minute. Oh, look at that. And of course, this all builds to, like, the ultimate stunt of the movie where he slides down the cable. Which is actually shown 3 times from 3 different angles, which if it was almost any other movie or any other thing, you would say is ridiculous and self-indulgent. But if you've actually seen it, you realize it deserves it. Because it's so crazy. And plus, it was something he could only do once.
Right.
And I was saying to the audience before, like, this was all done over the course of one night while the mall was closed. They didn't even, like, get the mall to, like, close for a day. They did this all in one night and had everything cleaned up so the mall could open for regular hours in the morning.
Wow.
So much glass. Of course, sugar glass is a softer kind of glass that breaks easily, but you can, and it's a lot safer about not getting cut on.
Right.
But it's still glass. Apparently in Breaking Bad, they use sugar glass for, like, meth or something.
Oh, really?
One of the actors, Aaron Paul or something, used to, like, eat it.
Oh.
Because it really does have sugar in it. I think it was Aaron Paul. And he's getting busted up. He's got some cuts and bruises. That slow-mo bit, you're like, oh, I thought it was all going to come down. Then they just throw it on top of him. So I was theorizing it's just because she didn't want to be noticed. It was why she suddenly, like, dressed like a grade school kid. Because she was always very stylish with her clothes, right? So I figure it was just like she was hoping she wouldn't be recognized if she put on, ridiculously stupid clothes. Because she's wearing, like, oh, yeah, even she gets some of it. Yeah, she's wearing overalls.
Yeah.
Oh, diving headbutt. They got to bring that back to UFC.
Oh, man. Yeah, headbutts are illegal, right?
Yeah. No headbutts.
Did you ever watch any Pride?
Oh yeah, I wish I'd been watching back when it was on. I really feel like the best era was like the early 2000s when you had UFC, Pride, Strikeforce, WEC.
Oh man,
Like,
I love those. Yeah,
now it's all homogenized.
it was
Like,
nice when UFC didn't own everything. You know.
yeah, exactly. And they had actually to compete, and there was real good talent in the other things. And I don't know, like Risen, which exists now, has the same rules as Pride. Like you can kick a downed opponent.
Oh really?
Kind of crazy. Yeah, you can still do soccer kicks in Risen.
Yeah, you were talking about like brutality, man. That's some brutal stuff.
Yeah, I'm not too comfortable with it. I don't believe in kicking downed opponents. Even ground and pound makes you uncomfortable at certain times. I mean, as long as the ref does his job, you can stop it early. But
Well, usually these guys can defend it well enough to where it's not brutal. But
yeah,
just imagine if you took someone that was trained in that and versus someone who was not.
oh, look at this! Boom! Like they're so mean.
Oh.
They just kicked his girlfriend down the stairs. Now they're in for it. He wasn't mad. Look at this! Oh! I mean, he's probably wearing padding or something. But Jesus, that's a stunt.
Is that May?
No, that wasn't May that went down the escalator.
Oh, okay.
She just. I might be a little ahead of you.
Yeah, you are just a hair.
Because here comes the main stunt for me.
May went down the stairs, right?
Yeah, but then a guy just then after it, he just brutally kicks the guy down the escalator. And 3. Yeah.
1, 2. One more time for good measure.
He was nervous about doing it too.
Yeah, looks dangerous.
Oh yeah, now the cops show up. There is no justice. It's kind of right, considering the second one, he still has to deal with the same gang. Well, evidence is in the briefcase, but not evidence that he killed Mao.
Right.
But that's what she says.
And also, he doesn't know who's going to double cross him or not at this point.
Yeah, because I mean, one cop, the Mao that got killed, was dirty. There could be more, because that's the other thing, right? Like, who do you trust? But look, there's the friggin' lawyer, already ready to throw everything out again. This is kind of like the end of Rocky V. Sue me for what?
Exactly. I was about to say that.
Threatening the lawyer.
Touch me and I'll sue.
Yeah, here we go. Wham! Oh, I love that glass effect. It's cartoony, but it's cool. Oh, uppercut.
Ah!
Oh, some Chinese boxing there. And that became like a running gag in the series, the report. I didn't see anything because that same actor, the uncle character or whatever his name is, that's what he says at the end of that's like the gag. Oh, I love that. That's like the gag at the end of first strike. I love that he's not done either. They still have to hold him back. Yeah. And this is also the first. I think this is also the first movie where Jackie showed the outtakes. So it makes it a very historic movie because then he would do it from then on.
Right.
I think it was Cannonball Run gave him the idea. He was in Cannonball Run, and I think they had credits like that, and he thought that was a good idea, especially considering it shows that. But yeah, you see all the work they put into it.
It's almost my favorite part of the films, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I mean, something you look forward to.
Oh, for sure. Even when he messes up, it still looks good, And it just reinforces how difficult it is to do. I remember seeing an interview with Jackie. He was talking about it. He says, people see these stunts. They say, "Oh, Jackie, he's so amazing. He's so good." He's like, "Yeah, but it's more about being patient."
Right.
Because obviously it does take talent and stuff. But a A lot of it has to do with the patience and discipline. See, here he is just doing a simple thing like the pencil thing.
And that's like not even worth the gag, the pencil.
And there, see the bus. It's hard to make the bus stop exactly where they needed to stop. There, he had to get out of the way. Right. There's the theme song as sung by Jackie. That's the kind of annoying thing about certain celebrities is when they just think they're known for being really great at something, but they want something else too. Like Jackie's not a terrible singer, but he's not a good singer either.
Right.
I don't know how well you remember Mulan, but in Mulan, there's a song that the captain guy that she winds up like romantically involved with sings called "I'll Make a Man Out of You," where he sings to the troops. It's a really good song, and it's sung in the English version by Donny Osmond, a really great singer. In the Chinese version, that song is sung by Jackie.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's a big step down. Oh, look at that. And of course, they have to end on the sliding stunt again. All those bulbs going off. Yeah, he got some burns on that.
You see the electricity going off.
The flash bulbs. Yeah, it took some good technical know-how just to make sure he doesn't get electrocuted, right?
Well, I mean, you could see the sparks all the way down.
Yeah, he got some burns. So there you go. That was
from 2010. No, that was the date on 1985.
Yeah, from 85, Jackie Chan's Police Story. This is 85. Jackie still had lots of great movies in him to make, and as we said, it was sort of a turning point in his career where he really figured out the way he wanted to do like these action movies. He would still do the sort of pure kung fu ones, but he would really, after this, focus more on the action hybrids. But yeah, unfortunately, this and the second one are the only Jackie Chan movies I own, which is too bad. And what really sucks is like years ago, I don't know if it was on Canadian because it was around the same time when I had access to American Netflix. I saw a bunch of his 80s ones on Netflix, but haven't been available for years.
Yeah.
Like that's how I saw Dragon Lord. That's how I saw both Project A's, and they're really good movies. Of course, Armor of God. That's from 87. Yeah, I've always been a huge fan, of course.
What's the one with is it Monkey's Paw or something like that?
Yeah, there's definitely one with a title that has monkey something in it.
I think I have that on DVD. It's not bad.
Right now, Amazon Prime has a lot of not Jackie ones, but a lot of like classic like Shaw Brothers ones from the 70s and 80s. There's a ton on there with some of the lesser known guys. Well, when I say lesser known, I mean lesser known over here. They're big stars like T. Lung and Chang Che, who also was a director. Stuff like that. There's a lot of those, and I mean, I have a lot of them like put aside to watch, and I haven't gotten around to it. But I'm definitely going to watch 5 Elements Ninjas soon, which is on there, which is a cool one. 5 Venoms is actually on Netflix right now. 5 Deadly Venoms.
Yeah, I think I've got that on Blu-ray. Was this his first film to direct?
No.
Police Story? No.
No. Dragon Lord might have been his first.
Okay.
That's 82. And that still holds the record for a scene with the most takes.
Really?
Yeah. And it's not even a martial arts thing. I wish I could describe to you what that scene is like, but it involves like a bunch of people making like human pyramids and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the reasons why I took so many takes is because it's like a bunch. It's not like 2 or 3 people. It's like 40, 50 people.
You would think like Kubrick or someone would have that record.
Yeah. Kubrick has the record. He does. See, Kubrick has the record for most takes for a scene with dialogue. So there you go. But I don't think anything will ever top Dragon Lord. It was literally hundreds of takes. And it would take a really long time to set it up too, because you have to use a whole bunch of different people, It's not just a few people. That movie also has a really cool sporty sequence in it too, where they're playing a sport and they make it as dramatic as possible. So basically they're playing something that's kind of like soccer, except they're playing it like hacky sack. The whole idea is like to score on the net with like a hacky sack, and of course nothing can touch the ground. And man, it's good. It's just his team against the other team, and his team is losing, and they do this most amazing dramatic comeback. Oh, it's awesome! Like it's really good. So yeah, Dragon Lord is a really good one. I think that's the first one he directed. But yeah, all those big ones we named, he's the director of. Police Story, Rumble in the Bronx, all those big ones. Very good director. For me, at least, Jay's cut out a bit, but hopefully that'll fix itself. Although I guess we're finishing up anyway. It's after 3 o'clock here. Roo. Meow, meow. There's Wednesday talking to me. Yeah, you're going to get treats. I know. You think you were starving to death?
Time for treats.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think my laptop just about overheated or something.
Oh. Well, we're finished now anyway. So there's Police Story. Maybe we'll do Police Story 2 at some point. And we definitely want to do some more like just martial arts ones that I think would be fun for live commentaries. Also, it's just a good excuse for me to watch them either again or in the first place. As I said, there's a whole bunch of older classic ones that I haven't seen that I've got access to that I should take advantage of.
But we've always got the problem of, something being on your streaming service but not on mine, and
yeah,
it's so
there's a lot of that stuff on my Prime, so hopefully there must be some carryover, because if you check Prime, there's a lot of that stuff. At least for me, like lots and lots.
I'm just looking through what else is on this Criterion right now.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of stuff on here. I'm not familiar with a lot of it, but
like foreign stuff.
There is a lot of foreign stuff, but I'm fairly well versed in film. But there's a lot of just stuff I'm not familiar with the titles. A lot of stuff we've covered on the Pocket Dimension already. Yeah,
I'll have to do a trial of it sometime too.
Just 8.5 is on here. The Seventh Seal. So
I've got 8.5 recorded.
Hell, do you want to do that tomorrow? Or Wednesday? Tomorrow or Wednesday, whenever?
Yeah, we could do that this week.
Since I've got it right here. We've been talking about it forever.
Yeah, that's by Fellini, who we covered in our Masters of Film series.
Might as well.
Federico Fellini.
That's the cool thing I like about this Criterion channel is it gives a lot of the special features that are on the the disc they put out.
That is cool, yeah. It's good to have that out.
Because that's one of the reasons you would buy a Criterion is for the special features.
Yeah. I would love to have more Criterions. So I just said they're quite expensive. I understand why, but yeah.
Right. Well, I'm sure they're suffering just like all other physical media.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, I mean, this was, the next obvious step for them.
Right. Like right now, on Prime, Come Drink With Me is on Prime, and that's almost the originator of these types of movies from '66. And it's kind of interesting too because its hero is a woman. So yeah, I've got tons of stuff on here. I don't have the first one-armed swordsman, but I have the second one-armed swordsman from '69.
That's a good one.
Return of the One-Armed Swordsman, Jimmy Wang Yu.
I don't know that I've seen part 2. I know the first one's really good.
I'm also really interested in this. Is in one of the Chang Che ones. While it is a martial arts movie, it's also a historical epic based on the Boxer Rebellion, which was a piece of history I've always been interested in. The Boxer Rebellion, which was took place in China in 1900. Yeah, Five Element Ninjas is on here. This is all Prime. Golden Swallow, which is the sequel to Come Drink With Me. Golden Swallow's the main character from Come Drink With Me.
Let's see, a one-armed swordsman. Wait. Okay. Wow.
Oh, there is. Oh, the original is on here. Okay, so the original is on here. That's
yeah, they're all on here as well. I believe there's like 4 or 5 of them. I didn't know they made that many.
Yeah.
Did you ever get into the Zatoichi movies?
No, I know what they are, but I don't think I've seen any of them.
I've seen probably a handful. They made so many of them, but they're pretty good stuff. You would definitely like them.
Yeah. Look here. Wow, there's a lot of swordsman movies here. The Sentimental Swordsman.
The new one-armed swordsman.
Yeah. Soul of the Sword, which has T-Lung.
Oh, look at this. Zatoichi meets the one-armed swordsman.
Huh. Oh, here's a good one. Eight diagram pole fighter. I think that's Gordon Liu. I own 36 Chambers of Shaolin, but the two sequels to it, one is I think just called Return to Chamber, and the other one is like Fighters of. Those are both on here too. I haven't seen those. Are other ones I put off watching. I own the original. I've seen it, but I have not seen the sequels.
I haven't either. I've only seen the original.
I don't think they have Gordon Liu. I think they have different actors. But yeah, there's a ton of Chang Che stuff on here. There's Flying Guillotine and Flying Guillotine 2. Wow, the Twin Swords. That's really old. That's 65. It's interesting that Jimmy Wang Yu like became this big martial arts like star when he wasn't a martial artist at all. But, you know, they did good choreography and stuff.
Yeah, there are quite a few of these on here as well.
You know, what sucks is even though there's a ton of stuff for that, like, yeah, so like people like the ones a little more well known here, like Jackie Chan and Jet Li, like it's not very good selection on Prime.
Yeah.
More, like the Jet Li stuff is like his obscure 80s stuff before he like broke through.
Right.
Not that they're terrible movies, they're just not that great. Like I kind of like Born to Defense. I don't know if you've seen that one, but that's from like 86. It's definitely worth watching. It has a really interesting scene where he like fights a guy in a boxing ring, and he has to do like boxing rules or something. Like he fights like a big European guy or something.
Like the Once Upon a Time in China, was that some of the ones you're talking about?
Yeah, that was like part of his breakthrough, right? Like Once Upon a Time in China is what resurrected his career. But yeah, that's not on there. Or the Magic Swordsman movie that he's in that I love, which is a fantasy martial arts movie, but a really, really good one.
I know it's kind of further along in his career, but I really got into Jet Li with like Black Mask.
Yeah, that's funny. So I actually own that as I've shown this set before. Is this set?
Oh, that's cool.
Called Jet Li, The Legend of Jet Li, which has Fearless, Fist of Legend, Hero, and Black Mask. So one of these things is not like the other, Black Mask being kind of a cheap B movie, where the others are, you know, sort of big budget movies. But
well,
yeah,
Hero, yeah. I mean, Hero's okay.
For some reason, I thought we'd done Fist of Legend, but I guess we haven't.
We definitely talked about it.
Yeah, it's in like my top 5 favorite. To me, it's Jet Li's best movie. To me, it's my favorite Jet Li movie, and it's like top 5 like favorite martial arts movies. Period. I love that movie, which of course in itself is a remake of my favorite Bruce Lee movie, Fist of Fury. I have an old Bruce Lee set that has all the movies except Enter the Dragon for some reason because of rights, I guess.
Rights, yeah. You know, strangely enough, I was never a huge Bruce Lee guy. I mean, I've seen a lot of the films, but
no, me neither.
I mean, I could always, kind of give or take most of them.
I respect his talent; he was amazing,
sure.
And everything he did. But I mean, it's too bad he died when he was 32, so he could have made way more different movies. And
right,
he's got he just has a small set of movies, and they're all kind of the same thing, I guess. But yeah, but my favorite Bruce Lee movie is Fist of Fury. Which also was called The Chinese Connection when it came over here.
Right.
I know a lot of people, the obvious one is Enter the Dragon, and Way of the Dragon is the one that has the Chuck Norris fight. Yes.
Yeah, I've got Enter the Dragon. I think maybe more than once on Blu-ray.
But see, here's the problem with something like that. Like, as we said about like that, it's like, oh, it's epic. He fights Chuck Norris, but yeah, he just beats the shit out of him. Really, it's not much of a fight. For like the first 30 seconds, it's somewhat even. Then after that, it just becomes a one-sided beatdown. It's like he just kicks the shit out of.
Oh yeah, Fist of Fury is actually on my Prime as Chinese Connection.
Yeah, so there you go. But yeah, but I've seen all the Bruce Lee movies because he only has like 6 or 7, and they're all pretty good. But yeah, my favorite has always been Fist of Fury.
We should cover all the fake Bruce Lee movies.
Actually, included in my set is the first of those, which is Game of Death 2. For some reason, that's on there, even though he's not in it at all.
Starring Bruce Lee or something like.
They made a ton of those, and yeah, that was what Jackie was worried about turning into, like in the late 70s. They were like, just gonna make him like that. Jackie, of course, Jackie is in Fist of Fury. Jackie gets kicked like through a window in a dojo or whatever by Bruce. I don't know if he actually gets killed or not, but he gets dispatched anyway.
He's a good bit younger, right? So he would have just been like an extra almost.
Yeah. I mean, he started super young. Like, he was like 20 probably in that movie.
Wow.
But yeah, there's just a ton on here from the 70s and 80s, and even from the late 60s, more than I was expecting. So, quite a few I've heard of, and quite a few I haven't. Like, what the hell is the dragon missile?
And the problem is, most are probably not that great.
Yeah, like they might have a memorable scene here or there, but as a movie, not be that good. So yeah, you truly. But I can vouch for Come Drink With Me. That's a really good movie.
Okay, I'll add that to my list. Because what I end up doing, I always get in a mood to watch these, and I watch like 3 or 4 really good ones, and then I watch like 5 bad ones in a row, and I just get burned out,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I tried. A lot of the Chang Che ones are really good as director, and he's directed guys like T. Lung. But yeah, I'm disappointed that for all this great selection on here, but the more well-known guys like Jackie, Jet Li, and even to a certain extent Donnie Yen, their stuff's not on here. Everybody knows who's heard me blab up about martial arts. He's always the guy I want to bring up. How he's overlooked. How awesome I think Donnie Yen is. I love, I want to see. I can't find his movie like Killzone or whatever the fuck it's called anywhere. I've seen it once and it's brilliant. It's called Kill something. That's Kill in the title. It's from like the mid 2000s and it's so good. And of course, I love Flashpoint, which I first saw on Netflix a million years ago, and it hasn't come back ever. Love Flashpoint. And by that time, he's in his late 40s, for God's sakes. So it's not even prime. I mean, the only thing they ever have is like on my Netflix, they have all 3 of the Ip Man movies, and they're good, and they're a good showcase of his skills. But he's done better stuff.
Okay, wait. This said Chinese Connection, but the titles say Bruce versus the Iron Hand.
I have no idea what that is. One of the fake ones?
Yeah, this is a goddamn Bruce Lee movie.
There you go. Oh, that's funny.
What the fuck? There's 2 Bruces. There's Bruce Lee and there's Bruce Lung.
Yeah.
Man, come on. This was the search that brought me there. Well, I'm not watching that.
No.
There was a cable channel, I don't remember what it was, maybe Encore or something, that did like martial arts theater, like on Friday night, Saturday night every week. And that's where I watched a lot of these, like in the early 2000s. And I recorded quite a few as well.
Yeah, you're lucky. I never saw any of this stuff on TV at any era. Like when I was a kid or an adult, there were just wasn't stuff. I always saw this stuff on video that I like if I rented it and stuff like that. But
I just stumbled upon it. But when I was a kid, yeah, it was. I always go back to this WGN channel that I think
I did have for quite a while. I did have that for a period of my life.
I think like Saturday afternoons, like if it wasn't like a Cubs game on, it would be either like a horror movie or like a old martial arts film.
That's pretty cool. No, I never got to see any cool martial arts film on TV. But way back when I first got Netflix, when I had a Canadian and American, there were a whole bunch of really good ones. Like that's how I saw like Magic Swordsman. That's how I saw, as I said, Project A and things like that. And there still is a good deal of stuff on Netflix, but just not the same ones. Okay, I'm gonna leave Prime now and just have a quick look at Netflix before we wrap up this show, because I should get going. Man, that wind is still not died down.
And I say this all the time, but it was almost like we appreciated things more because we didn't have access to as much.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like, we're watching something that may not be that great, but we love the hell out of it,
It's more special to catch it like on TV.
Yeah, it's hard to explain that to someone who doesn't, know what that's like, but
no. But I mean, yeah, even they can understand what it's like to like what I'm doing right now, just scroll through a bunch of stuff and never actually like watch anything. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, 5 Deadly Venoms is on my Netflix at the moment, which is great. And the original 36 Chamber of Shaolin is too, which I own. And 5 Elements Ninjas, wow.
Yeah, that's on my Netflix as well, I think.
Yeah, it's on Netflix and Prime for me.
Maybe Prime, I don't remember. It's on somewhere, which I've never seen that.
No, me neither. It has a good reputation though.
Not watching Bruce versus the fucking Iron Hand. It keeps taking me there. It's like labeled wrong in the algorithm.
Okay, Return to the 36 Chamber does have Gordon Liu. It must be the third one that doesn't. Just double checking on that. Yeah, they've got one of Jackie Chan's like first starring roles on Netflix, The Young Tiger, but it's a completely forgettable movie.
Oh yeah,
it's from '73, so that might be like it might even be his first starring movie, but it's nothing special. Really, the only '70s movie of Jackie's that's worth a damn is Drunken Master, I'd say. But yeah, also on Prime, although they don't have much Jackie, they do have Legend of Drunken Master, which is an incredible movie and has what a lot of people consider the greatest martial arts choreography ever.
Really?
That end fight. It's just insane. But here's one, but there's a couple that are definitely on the list that I know are good. Like here's Legendary Weapons of China. I think I even started that and had to stop. That's a good one that has Gordon Liu. And it's so great about the weapons too, because they get to a point where there's so many weapons where they actually tell you on the screen what they are. It's pretty cool.
Wow. So is it Drunken Master was 78? Does that sound right?
That's right, yes.
Okay, that's on Stars. I'm pretty sure I've seen that at some point, but I don't remember it in particular.
It's not great, but it's good, and it's Jackie's first really good movie. But he probably made movies in 80 and 81 because he was so prolific, but I don't know what they are. But in 82 was when he made Dragon Lord, which was maybe the first movie he directed, and that is really something to see. I would really recommend that if you ever get the chance, but I don't know where the hell it is these days. Yeah, I can't say I don't have access to a lot of stuff, but I do. But it's just annoying that there's certain really specific ones I want that I don't. Even some of the ones I've seen before, like I would love to see Dragon Lord again because it's really awesome. I would love to see. I don't know. Even some of that different stuff. As I said, I've never been a fan of the wire work because it looks really unrealistic, and I prefer like real stuff. But there's a few movies that use wire work that are good, like Iron Monkey. Like that's really good.
Yes, I love that one.
That might be the best wire work movie, or at least movie that really relies on it. I can't even remember seeing Iron Monkey 2. They made a second one, but I can't recall.
Really?
I can't recall I've seen it or not.
I used to own that. It may have gotten stolen, but if not, I still probably have it.
I can't remember the name of the guy in that. He was a different guy. Taking a look here at. Yeah, so Jet Li's first movie, Shaolin Temple from '82. I'm pretty sure that's on Prime. But yeah, he did a handful of movies in the '80s, and none of them were that good. But Once Upon a Time in China came out in '91, and that really launched his career. Yeah, that's what it was. I was saying Magic, but it's just a movie. So here's the weird thing. So he did Once Upon a Time in China, which is really big, and he did the sequel, Once Upon a Time in China 2. But another big movie he did the same year was actually a sequel, and he wasn't in the originals. There was a movie called Swordsman. It was pretty good. But then he replaced the lead for Swordsman 2, and it's really good. And that's a rare, like, fantasy one. Like, there's, like, demons and magic and stuff in it. But Swordsman 2 is awesome. So that's another one I would highly recommend if you could find it fucking anywhere, which I can't anymore. But I did see on Netflix, like, maybe almost 10 years ago. Really good.
Someone must have gone and bought a lot of these movies up at some point. Like some studio must have bought the rights to these things.
Yeah. Entirely possible. This only shows the original Chinese production company, so God knows who owns stuff now, but yeah. Yeah, I'm dying. So some of these movies, I've seen them before, but it's been so long. Like, I'm dying to see them again. And that was really when he hit his stride. Like, he did that, and the next year he did Fist of Legend. So all in a span of, like, 3 years. He did Once Upon a Time in China 1, 2, Swordsman 2, Once Upon a Time in China 3, which I don't remember was any good or not, Fist of Legend. Black Mask is not, like, a great movie, but it has good action in it, 96. Funny is it must have a different title. Is it My Father is a Hero? Anyway, in 95, he did one called Meltdown that I remember from when I was a kid, because that was a movie we rented back, like, when we first, like, found out who he was, like, sometime in the late 90s.
Yeah.
Meltdown's interesting. It's kind of like Jet Li trying to do Die Hard.
Huh.
Which sounds awesome, but is kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
It has some very bad acting in it. But it's directed by Corey Yen, so it's still good. You know, Corey Yen directed a lot of really good stuff. But it's definitely an underwhelming movie.
Yeah. It was so much of that low budget stuff that.
It's interesting. Corey Yen actually directed a movie called The Raid. Oh, no. He didn't direct it. He was just in it. Okay. Oh, by the way, yeah, Corey Yen directed The Transporter.
So yeah, I knew it was somebody that knew what he was doing.
Yeah. What's weird is the last movie he directed was the Dead or Alive movie, which is terrible.
They made like 5 of those.
Yeah, it's a good formula. What's funny is the movies are probably less sexual than the games. And that's weird when you think about it.
Oh, that's actually based on the game, the fighting game?
Yeah.
Huh.
I
thought it was just a coincidence.
No, it's based on the game. I didn't play the game enough to know any sort of story, but I'm sure there's some sort of story there.
I knew they released like a beach edition where all the characters had, like, hardly any clothes on.
Yeah, it's basically like beach volleyball and fighting. It was a big step forward at the time in graphics because it had, like, the physics of bouncing breaths.
Yeah.
Which in later revisions you could turn off. Like, if it annoyed you or you were whatever, you could actually turn it off. But if you turn it off, then it didn't look right. I remember the very first time I saw it was on a fairly large screen. I saw it when I was in Virginia. I saw it in an arcade in Virginia. Or not Virginia, sorry. Not Virginia. Vermont. It was when I was in Vermont. Because Virginia's too early. It was impressive. But anyway, yeah. Jay and I are big martial arts fans, and we like talking about this stuff. So we'll definitely a few more movies like this in the future. hopefully put them together. But it's getting pretty late for me, so I gotta wrap this up. But thanks so much for anybody that was with us or is going to be with us in the future. Like I said, to watch this great movie because it's a really cool action movie, really big, important, one of the most important movies of Jackie Chan's career. And I think, nowadays it has a big reputation, but for so long, North American audiences would not have been really aware of it, which is too bad. But yeah, wonderful movie. Very glad to own it, and hopefully I can get some more of his in the future.
Yeah, it was. This is great. I'm almost tempted to put on the sequel right now.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Part of me thinks I could stay up later. I could, but yeah, no. I'm actually might go out tomorrow because I haven't been anywhere in like forever, so not a great idea. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch a couple, 2 or 3 maybe martial arts movie this week. But there was still another movie I was gonna watch the other day, and I got sidetracked from. I don't think what it was. It was related to something we were talking about, and I can't remember, but I'll remember it later. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. That'll do for now. Yeah, hopefully it won't be like too long before we get another live commentary up. But besides that, yeah, we've got a regular show, the Movie Discussion Pocket Dimension, which continues this week. So possibly we'll do 8.5. I don't know, but we'll see. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll have something for you really soon. Good night.
Thanks.